Alright, so the world is a very strange place right now. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of bad things. You know, the future is very uncertain right now. You know, at the end of the day, like one way or another, the clock's gonna keep ticking. I think it's important that, while we're here, while we have this chance to live our lives to the fullest, whatever that looks like for you, to have the freedom to think about things. Essentially, what I'm here to share is that I've been thinking. I thought a lot today about this. I think I figured it out. What is it, you may ask? It is the entire plot synopsis to Despicable Me 5. I had a conversation with my boss earlier today, and for whatever reason, the topic of Despicable Me came up. He asked if I had ever seen Despicable Me 4, and mentioned that it had just come out on Netflix, and I said no, because I haven't seen Despicable Me 4, and I probably never will. I should probably, read a plot synopsis, just to see, because maybe they already did the thing that I'm gonna say. I hope not, because I want to be right about this. In Despicable Me 4, Gru and Lucy welcome a new baby, Gru Jr., and face a new nemesis, Maxime Le Mal, and his girlfriend Valentina, forcing the family into hiding and a new undercover family vacation. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, when a series or a franchise runs out of ideas, they do one of two things, and that is either introduce a baby character or the multiverse, right? And now, in regards to baby character, they have already introduced young Gru. Gru as a child, not necessarily a baby, right? But close, okay? And now, this isn't baby Gru, but this is a baby. I mean, his name is literally Gru Jr., but he is Gru's, offspring. Like, he is a baby that was conceived by Gru, not Gru himself. Something they haven't done, which I'm kind of honestly almost shocked that this hasn't already happened, but baby minions is an idea that they could play around with in the future. I really hope not, because that sounds like a fucking nightmare. They do have Bob. He has, he's smaller than the other minions. He has, heterochromia, or whatever it's called, where your eyes are, two different colors. He's got, the little teddy bear. I feel like, in terms of the idea of a baby minion, that's kind of, the closest that they've gotten. But who knows? Maybe in the next movie, one of the minions just become pregnant somehow. Or, a baby minion just spawns from somewhere and Gru is like, oh, what is this? And then, his kids are like, oh my god, it's a baby minion! And then, the youngest daughter, she'll be excited. Because, well, no, not her, I guess. But let's say, in this movie, maybe, Gru Jr. he's a few years old now, right? He's, grown up a little bit. He doesn't know what it's like to be the youngest sibling, because he is the youngest sibling, right? I was going to say the youngest girl, but I forgot, Gru Jr. exists. So he would be able to experience what it's like, somewhat, to have, a younger sibling, even though it's a minion. I don't know. I really hope that doesn't happen, but it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, on to the real topic of the video, right? The whole reason that I'm making this thing in the first place is the multiverse theory. So I'm thinking there are multiple different universes, right? They're going to call them Gruniverses. They're just going to do that because it's marketable, it's funny, it'll be in the trailer, one of the kids will say it, or the fucking weirdo scientist guy, somebody's going to call it that, and Gru is gonna be like, oh no, don't call it that, and then they're gonna continue to call it that, and it's gonna be hilarious. Plot-wise, I'm thinking there's a bad guy who has some sort of like machine, right, where he can go to other universes or whatever, you know, for whatever his intents and purposes are, and he fucks something up, and all these different portals open up, and all these different Grus from different universes come to our canon Gru's universe. It's so funny and silly because there's all these different Grus everywhere, and you know, they're like conversing with one another. Now, something that I thought is maybe these Grus are still villains. Like, these other universe Grus haven't found their 3 adopted children yet to give them a better purpose, a more meaningful life. But what I really think will happen is that all of the Grus will have to work together to reverse engineer this machine to get themselves back to their respective universes. And in terms of like a subplot, you know, I think the baby minion idea would work. I don't really know what else they would do. To be honest, I haven't like watched a Despicable Me movie in a while. You know, maybe there's like some silly minion subplot, you know, where they're taking care of the baby, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing because they're minions. Ultimately, I think this is what they will do for Despicable Me 5. And I do think it will be complete and utter dog shit. To be honest, I don't really give a fuck about Despicable Me. I don't know. Who knows? You know, maybe Despicable Me 4 was movie of the year, and I fucking missed out. But I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I kind of said all I needed to say. I just thought about this earlier, and in case I'm right, I want to have this documented so that I can say I told you so when they inevitably make Despicable Me 5 and it uses the multiverse theory and it is super unfunny and bombs in the box office. Thanks for watching. Don't subscribe. Please don't subscribe. Thank you. But who knows? You know, maybe in the next movie... I can't say that without fucking laughing, dude. I cannot say that without smiling because it's so fucking stupid. Okay. But who knows? You know, maybe in the next movie, fuck. Okay. But who knows? Maybe in the next movie, you know, one of the minions gets pregnant. Oh my god.